Hey guys, Dave Draper here for ToyWorldOrder.com, and what with the start of the new year, everyone's doing their best of 2015 list, and I thought I would, go ahead and kind of chime in and give my top 5 toys of the year. Now, just a couple of quick little points. These are subjective picks. I'm not saying these are the best toys of the year. These are my favorites. These are the ones that I'm happiest that I got. And I also, had to limit myself to toys that I actually own or theoretically something that Jason owned or someone that I had actual experience of. That's why the Mezco Dark Knight Batman's probably not on the list, because I don't own it. I've never seen it. No. Bad. So let's start out with number 5 on the list. Now, maybe thinking, well, that's just kind of an average G.I. Joe. What's the big deal? It's just any G.I. Joe like any G.I. Joe. Sometimes it's not the toy, it's the story behind it. If you've ever been to JoeCon or to even Toyman or King County, you may have seen a booth set up with a bunch of prototypes and 2-ups and all kinds of amazing archival production stuff. And there was a guy there at the booth, bald guy who had goggles, and his name was Gary. And he was probably the best ambassador that our hobby has ever had. Certainly one of them. And unfortunately, he passed away about a year ago. And Hasbro, in a fairly, they've done things like this once or twice before, but it's an unusual move. They decided to honor him by naming this particular G.I. Joe in his honor. It's not his actual real name, but it's close enough that everybody knows who he is. It's Gary. The character's from Chicago. He's got goggles. And, considering that a lot of times we're almost in an adversarial role with Hasbro, or the companies that produce our toys, it was a really classy, nice gesture. The room exploded at JoeCon when they announced it. And I like to, I look at this figure and I think that this is kind of almost like a modern, for us, it's our version of Valhalla. Because he gets to spend eternity shoulder to shoulder with his heroes. And that ain't not bad. So the second toy on my list is, oh my god, it's Devastator! Devastator! Oh wait. I had a bit. We're supposed to wear sunglasses because our cameras may hate him, but we love him. Now, I grew up in the 80s. I watched the Transformers cartoon as a kid. Boy, every time I rehearsed it, I said G.I. Joe. But really, the original toy was one of the biggest disappointments ever. Because on the cartoon, he's this massive, monstrous, devastating force. I mean, when he showed up, you knew stuff was going to happen. And then you actually get the toy, and he's a little toy. And he's very fragile and flimsy. And so I think Hasbro really redeemed this character this year with the Combiner Wars Devastator. It's a great toy. It's huge. I mean, only the real true Titans are bigger than he is. And obviously, I got some of the add-on kits and some of the repro labels. But I really think this is a fantastic Transformer. It's a cool toy. And again, it really sort of redeems the G1 Devastator. Who, I still have mine, but he's a... No. Shoo, scat. No. You wear one Ewok hood. So my number 3 spot are these guys. And these are actually from the second Kickstarter. These are the stretch goal figures, but this is the Marauder Task Force figures. We didn't actually review these guys. We reviewed the first wave. All right, he's just going to fall over. But I wanted to show off some of the new colors and designs that they came up with. Again, these were stretch goals. The Valkyrie Kickstarter is for the female form, but because they have the molds for these guys, these were add-ons, and so we got the extras. But I love the first wave. I love these guys. These are great, and I love just the idea of them. I love how you have the different vests, as you can maybe see, different vests, different helmets, and then even though the plug-in accessories don't always quite work out the way that you want them to, because they do come off, and Marauders says clearly that you should probably, when you get a set that you like, glue them into place, which, these are kind of expensive, and they're not all easy to get, so I'm not sure I'm going to be gluing anybody anytime soon, But I love the idea of it. I love the idea that you can kind of design your own figure and make your own figure. And I have seen the most amazing customs that people have done using these bodies as a base. And it is fantastic. It's a fantastic idea. And of course, just as action figures, okay, this guy didn't want to stand upright, but, you know, I mean, oops, and this guy's leg came off. Boy, I'm just really selling them today. But, you know, they've got the articulation. You know, they've got like all the awesome articulation, and it's just they're great action figures, except for this brown guy who I'm going to put over there because he's making me look bad. But I mean, just in any other year, these guys would be toys of the year. And you know, for those of you who actually follow these toys, you're already like, well, that's the wrong vest on that guy, and that guy has that vest. Well, that's the whole point, is that you make your own toys, that you make your own characters, and that's what I love about them. And like I said, pretty much any other year, these would probably be my toys of the year. But 2015. Okay, that's just weird and disturbing. Star Wars came back, and we got the 4-inch Black Series from Walmart. Now, I stand by what I said in my review, that I still think that the basic line with the 5 points of articulation is fine. Especially for the secondary characters, and even for the main characters mostly. But I mean, you know, they've got all the articulation and the sculpting, and they've even got a little extra paint, and they're just so nice, and it's just so cool. You know, you do have to pay more, and they are Walmart exclusive, and that sucks, because, you know, it's kind of hit and miss whether or not you can find them. But they're great figures, and you know, if you like the new film like I do and you love the new characters, it's just so great to get some really cool, high-end, nice, quality figures to go with all, you know, all the vintage style figures that you have, already. And I love the posability. Hopefully these guys won't come off. But you know, it's just like, you know, you just do dance parties with these guys. And I legitimately wondered if we were going to even get 4-inch figures at all for Star Wars, because, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy didn't get a 4-inch line, and Avengers got kind of a really crummy second-rate 4-inch line. So I'm even with the added costs, and even with, you know, the exclusivity of this particular line, I'm very happy with it, and I really hope that we get 2 or 3 more waves. I want a Han, I want a Phasma, I want a Luke. Spoiler alert, even though he's barely in the film. So this was number 2 on my list, which means that there's just one more. What could possibly top Star Wars? Ruining my video. So there's one more toy, which I think is the coolest toy of the year, the best toy of the year, and it is Warpo Toys Cthulhu. This is a toy. Now, this is the glow-in-the-dark variation, which we didn't review. But again, I kind of wanted to show off, you know, because we didn't review it, I wanted to show off this version. I prefer the regular version, actually, but this is still cool. And it's just, this is a toy that if I'd had as a kid, I would have played with constantly. I love it. I mean, I'm a Lovecraft mark, but the toy itself is just so cool. It's just such a cool giant monster. It's got just the right amount of basic articulation for an 80s toy with the wrist, and he just, I mean, what else can you say about it? It's a giant squid monster. It is the coolest thing. It is a dream come true, and I love it. And you know, at this point, we actually do have a lot of Cthulhu toys out there, and this is hands down my favorite. It is my favorite toy that I got this year. It is one that I will probably revisit kind of a lot, and it's a company that I really am looking forward to seeing more product from in the future. So that's basically my my top 5 figures, top 5 toys of 2015. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of these guys, the gals from the Valkyrie line. I'm looking forward to Boss Fight finally putting out some product. Very much looking forward to that. I think they're already a top contender. I'm looking forward to more Black Series. And even though I'm not a huge Transformer fan, Titan Wars looks kind of interesting. So that's about it for me for 2015. And hopefully we'll all just keep... something weird's going on. Keep playing with your toys.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop ruining my video! Stop! Eat it! Eat it! Eat it! Eat it! Eat it! Choke on it!